Commission will resume. I take it your documents are now ready, are they?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and thanks for the indulgence.
Very well. So we can commence. You're still under oath?
Yes.
And you can continue now with your cross-examination.
Thank you, Chair. There was some doubt yesterday as regards whether the videos that we had shown had been discovered. I understand now that the evidence leaders can confirm that they have been covered and have been distributed to the parties.
Kuthiwa ke zifumanekile ke eza video namaqela azifumene.
Chair, we can confirm that the videos were discovered by SAPS. Exhibit EE5 is new material 15 November 2012 / new stuff from SAPS for distribution 121115 / videos Captain Nell 15 August / M2 U00216 and 217. And exhibit EE6 is SAPS external hard drive / videos / 15 August 2012 / 034.mts. And these were all distributed at least by November last year.
Thank you, Ms. Pillay. Mr. Ngulwana, you now continue with your cross-examination.
Thank you, Chair. While we're still dealing with rats and mice, may I hand up some exhibits, Chairperson? These are photographs to which I shall refer. They have been taken pretty much from the video footages and converted into still photographs.
Kusanikezelwa kamafoto kuthiwa lamafoto enziwe kwivideo ngoku ke asanikwa amaqela onke azokwazi ukuthi bazozibona ezo foto ezo.
An exhibit number. What is the next exhibit number, Ms. Pillay?
Chair, I apologize. The two video clips are EE4 and EE5. So this bundle would be EE6.
Thank you. It's a bundle of photographs.
Ezi foto ke zizawubizwa njengo EE6.
Yes, yes. I see there are 8 photographs and they've been separately numbered, so it will be easy to refer to them. Yes. Yes, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair.
Wait for your learned friends to have their copies.
Ezi foto ke zizifoto ezisibhozo.
I take it everyone now has a copy of the exhibit. Mr. Magidwana, yesterday you were somewhat unsure as regards the identity of the person on the first photo. You see the front page of the exhibit that's just been handed to you.
Izolo ke bungaqinisekanga ngalo mntu ulapha kwifoto le yokuqala. Uyayibona mos njengoba ibekwa phambi kwakho?
Ndiyayibona.
I can see it.
Are you now in a better position to confirm that that is indeed yourself?
Ngoku ke uyibona kakuhle apho ungakwazi ukuqinisekisa apha into yokuba nguwe lo mntu?
Yeah, ndiyayibona.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, I know you can see it. Can you confirm that that is you?
Siyakubona, siyayazi ba uyayibona kodwa ke ungangqina apha utsho into yokuba nguwe.
Ewe.
Yes.
Interpose. I made a mistake a minute ago. I said exhibit EE consisted of 8 marked photographs. It's actually 9. So I want to correct that. Yes, please proceed, Mr. Ngulwana. I'm sorry about that interruption.
Wenze impazamo wathi zi-8 kodwa ke ezi foto zilapha zilithoba.
So the person in photo 1 of E6 is indeed yourself, Mr. Makiti.
Lo mntu ke simbona kule photo apha ekuqaleni le yokuqala nguwe nyani lo.
Ewe.
Yes.
The police will lead evidence that that was taken on the 15th of August 2012, which was a Wednesday. Will you dispute that?
Into ezawuthethwa ke ngamapolisa apha into yokuba le foto yathathwa nge-15 ka-August kwaye kwangolesithathu ngoko. Loo nto uzayiphikisa?
Andikhumbuli ndisiya nge-15.
I don't remember ever going there on the 15th.
Yes, I know you do not remember, but if someone else does remember, would you be in a position, or you wouldn't be in a position to dispute that?
Ewe ndiyayibona into yoba ukhumbule kodwa ke uba ukhona omnye umuntu okhumbulayo esithi yena yathathwa nge-15 wena uzayiphikisa loo nto?
Hayi andinoyazi loo nto.
I would know that.
Omnye umntu wena uthi awukhumbuli ukuba wawuphaya okanye hayi, anditsho?
You said you don't remember whether you were there or not, isn't it? And the answer is yes.
Ukho umntu ozawuza anike ubungqina bokuba wawupha ngomhla we-15.
Someone will come here and testify and say that you were there on the 15th.
Yena uyayikhumbula loo nto.
That person remembers that.
Into endiyitshoyo ke kuwe yinto yokuba ukuba kukho omnye umntu oyikhumbulayo ube wena ungayikhumbuli, awukwazi ukuphikisa into ethethwa ngumntu othi mna ndiyayikhumbula ukuba umhlekazi wayepha nge-15.
If then you don't remember and another person will come and say he remembers that, then you cannot dispute it when a person who was there says you were there on the 15th.
Uba wena awutsho ukuba wawungekho pha, uthi awukhumbuli upha.
Because you don't say you were not there. All you are saying is that you don't remember ever being there.
Ndiyakuva.
I hear you.
What's your answer to the point?
Uphendula uthini ke mfokabawo?
Hayi andiphikisani naye.
I don't dispute what he's saying.
So we can take it that you were there on the 15th.
So singakholela into yokubana buphaya ngalamhla we-15.
Hayi andiqapheli nge-15 mna. Ndiqapheli tu.
I really don't remember on the 15th.
We know that you've said that.
Siyayazi ke ba utshilo.
Kodwa usanda ukuthi ngoku into yoba awunakuyiphikisa into enothethwa ngumntu owayepha, umntu onokuthi wena wawupha nge-15.
But you said you cannot dispute it if someone can come and say you were there on the 15th.
Correct?
Injalo lonto?
Injalo.
It is so.
Problem, of course, is the person hasn't come and said it yet. I mean, he's entitled to say, if someone comes and says it, I don't dispute it, or I may not dispute it. But surely until that person has come and said it, then there's no admission that he makes that a witness who may not come or may not withstand cross-examination when he does come, how can he be expected to admit something in those circumstances?
Singayilindela njani into yoba uzovuma into yomntu ongekazi nokuza kuba azokunika ubungqina obo?
Yes, that is why I was careful to say the police will lead evidence to say.
Put it, but what I'm saying to you is you can't then say he now admits he was there, or he, in effect, because he doesn't admit he was there. He says, if you've got evidence that proves I was there, then I obviously won't be able to deny it. But further than that, I don't think he takes it. But again, I think you've made the point, and it's more a matter of argument from now on, I think.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Kuthiwa ke uCouncillor uNgalwana ke uyicacisile ke lonto kodwa ngumba uzawuthi ushukuxwe xa kukho ingxoxo mpikiswano lowo.
May I direct your attention, Mr. Magidiwana, to photos 2 and 3 of the exhibit?
Kula maxwebhu ke ndizawucela uye kwifoto yesibini neyesithathu.
Are you able to hazard a guess what date that was?
Ungakwazi ukuthekelela into yokuba ezi foto zathathwa ngeyiphi date?
Ezi photo zifana nizange 16.
These photos look like those of the 16th.
What makes you so certain?
Yintoni le ikwenza uba uqiniseke ngalonto?
Ezi bendizibona bendihleli kanje.
Because the photos where I saw myself, this is how I was sitting.
And what was the occasion when you were sitting on, is this on the copy?
Kwakusentabeni ke apha kwezi photo. Yes.
And what was the occasion?
Kwakusenzeka ntoni ngeli xesha?
Andikhumbuli uba bekusenzeka ntoni kodwa ke ndichophile.
I don't remember what occasion it was, but I was sitting.
If I suggested to you that it was during the time when Mr. Matunjwa was addressing you on the first occasion, would you be in a position to dispute that?
Ukuba ndingathi kuwe ke le photo ithathwe ngela xesha uMathunjwa wayethetha nani okokuqala, ungayiphikisa lonto?
Andinoyiphikisa ngoba kavelanga naye.
I cannot dispute that because he also is not appearing in this picture.
Well, okay. May I direct your attention to photos 4 and 5?
Ndicela ke sityhile siye phaa kula foto yesine neyesihlanu.
Are you able to hazard a guess or express a certainty as regards what date those photographs depict, or the events of which date those photographs depict?
Xa ujonge ke le mifanekiso ibona apha, ungakwazi ukusixelela into yokubana ithathwe ngeyiphi date?
Ndingakwazi iyacaca le.
Yes, I can tell because this one is clear.
Yes, how is it clear?
Nge-16.
It was on the 16th.
How is it clear that it was?
Icace njani?
Ndiqaphela lo mntu wephethe iphepha le 12,500 kungaxesha kuthetha uMathunjwa.
What I really observed is this person who is holding this paper where 12,500 is written, and by then it is at the time Mr. Mathunjwa was speaking.
Was that placard only displayed on the 16th of August 2012 at the copy?
El paper ke ulibona apha laliphethwe okanye liphakanyise nje ngomhla we-16 phaa entabeni olulibonayo.
Kawundiphinde.
Can you please repeat?
Uxwebhu olukhulu olu lupha ku photograph number 5 uthi lwaluphethwe only ndiyaxuba ke only ngalamhla we-16th okanye kwakukho ezinye intsuku apho olu xwebhu lwaluphethwe ngalo?
Are you saying that this placard which was held in this picture was it only held on the 16th, or were there any other days where this
Held on the
placard was
16th.
held? The answer is I saw it on the 16th.
So you saw it on the 16th, but you cannot dispute that it may have been present on other days.
Wena wayibona nge-16 kodwa xa kuthiwa nangezinye iintsuku laliphethwe loo nto awunoyiphikisa ne?
Andinoyiphikisa ngoba bendingekho loo mini kodwa imini endibone ngayo ile yange-16.
I cannot dispute that because on the other days I was not present, but the day on which I saw it was on the 16th.
May I direct your attention to photo 6.
Ndicela ke sike sityhile kwifoto le yesithandathu.
It has throughout been your evidence that the weapon you carried was a knob-carry, correct?
Kubungqina bakho ke into osixelele yona into yokuba isixhobo busiphethe uphethe ibhunguza kuphela. Injalo loo nto? Yes.
May I ask the video, because there's a video footage that corresponds with this photograph, to be played.
Ucela ke ngoku ivideo ehambisana kunye nale foto le idlalwe phaa kumabonakude.
This would have been on the 16th of August.
Loo nto ke yivideo kanye into eyenzeka ngomhla we-16 ka-Agasti.
We're trying to zoom into where the witness would have been seated.
Kuthiwa ke bazama ukukhulisa umfanekiso apho kule ndawo kuthiwa wawuhleli ngakuyo.
And you recognize yourself in that.
Uyazibona ke phaa kumabonakude?
Ndiyazibona.
Yes, I recognize myself.
At some stage, there will be a footage showing you carrying not just one. Can I take you back to photo 6? If you look closely at the insert, you see there is a bigger photograph, and on it is, shall I call it superimposition for lack of a better term, of a smaller photograph which shows you. Do you see you are carrying two things there?
Uthi ke siyabona kukho umfanekiso lomkhulu kodwa kubekho ke lo siubonayo wenziweyo apha. Xa ujonge lo mfanekiso umbuzo awubuza into yokuba uyazibona into yoba apha ke ngokule foto uphethe izinto ezimbini?
Ewe ndiyazibona loo nto futhi ndiyayiqaphela baze kwenzeke ntoni.
Yes, I can see that and I remember what had happened.
So when you earlier told the commission that you were carrying a knob-carry, that was not correct, was it? On the 16th.
Kodwa ke kuxesha elingaphambili ngokubuxelele le commission into yokuba wawuphethe ibhunguza qha wawungathethi inyani kule commission injalo loo nto?
ukubamba into yomuntu uqhwabe ngayo kubudiniwe izandla kumohluko kulonto nokuthatha into yakho uhambe nazo ezonto uziphethe zimbini.
Taking other person's weapon and use it in order to make a rhythm when they're singing is different from when you take your own weapons and go with them. Because especially when one is tired of clapping.
And I take it you expect the commission to believe that explanation.
Ulindele into okubana ke ngoku le commission ikholelwe lento ithethayo.
Ndiyakuxelela uba andiyiphiki loo nto uba zento eziphethe into ezimbini phayana ndiqhwaba ngazo kodwa ndiyithathe emntwini andikho nto ndiyiphika kuloo nto ukusuka kwam endlini ndihambe ndiphethe induku eyi-1.
I don't dispute that at that time I was holding two objects and using them to make a rhythm or to clap with them, especially being someone else's weapon. But when I left the house, I was only carrying one weapon.
Why did you find no need, or let me put the question this way, did you tell your lawyers this detail when the statement was prepared?
Ngexesha ke kwakubhalwa istatement sakho amagqwetha wakho wawaxelela ngalonto leyo.
Zange ndibaxelele futhi uba ngabe zenzobaxelela zonke izinto ezenzeka lameni inoba zekuzogcwala incwadi yonke ilanto zezoba andanoba zezogcwala imiqulu yencwadi kuba zininzi into zesenzeka pha lameni.
I never told them about that, and if I were to tell them everything that had happened there, perhaps a book or a volume would have been written in that regard. What you are holding there with your right hand is a sharp object, isn't it? Sharpened iron. Yes, it was a sharpened iron.
Just to wrap up this point. So, whether this was a sharpened weapon belonging to someone else or not, it was untrue when you told the commission repeatedly in your evidence that on the 16th at the copy, you only had one, shall we call it a weapon, which was a knobkiri.
Sasisinye isixhobo ophethe isixhobo somnye umuntu ngelaxesha kodwa xa ke ngoku uzowuthi apha kule commission wawuphethe isixhobo esinye sodwa lonto bingasiyinyaniso injalo lonto
ngalendlela uthetha ngayo ndisatsho nangoku ndisathi umohluko ukhona kuba ndithetha ngento eze ndiyiphethe ndisuka endlini nento ndiyithathe emntwini ndaqhwaba kuba ndidiniwe zikhona neevidiyo ndiqhwaba ngezandla pha.
As I said that in the manner in which you are putting it, however, there is a difference because when I left home and went there I only had one weapon, and because I was at some time clapping hands and was tired, then I used someone's weapon then to make a rhythm or to clap with the weapons. And that's where the difference lies.
Sorry, the witness said something else.
I said so when I started, that even though I was tired of clapping hands, and then some videos also were shown.
Of course, you could have simply put your knobkiri down and use your hands to clap, not so.
Uthi lonto ilula ngoba ngewubeke phansi ke ngoku ibhunguza le wavele nje waqhwaba izandla injalo lonto.
Emhlekazi yazi kukho into ofuna kuyiqaphela
So there is something that you must take into cognizance.
Nxa uhleli endaweni niqula engoma futhi kumnandi.
When you are singing, sitting in a certain place and that there is rejoicing.
Izandla zibathuthu udinwe uthathe into yomuntu ulanduke nawe uqhwabe ngazo.
So the hands get hot and then you get tired as well and you take someone else says think and then use it then to make the rhythm or to clap. Then if I was not clapping, then how could there be a sense in a song? Are you done?
Ted,
Talk, I'm done.
You must accept that it requires, even marginally, a greater effort to pick up two weapons, use them to clap, than it does to use your hands.
Uthi ke funeke uyamkele nento kubana kufuneke ubeke imigudu yenzayo xa uzothatha izixhobo uzosebenzisa zona uqhwaba ngazo kunokuba uqhwaba nje lula ngezandla.
Enjani ke imigudu?
What efforts are those?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Andizowuphendula ke lo umbuzo wona.
Hlekazi ngicela undiphendule kuba nami ndiyakuphendula.
Please answer me because I'm also answering your questions.
You could, of course, have taken another knobkerrie or a stick if you had to use weapons to clap, not a ngula, not so.
Uthi ke uthathe enye intonga xa ufuna uqhwaba okanye mhlawumbe uthathe enye ibhunguza kodwa ungathathi incula. Injalo lonto?
Hlekazi kaloku bengazubulala umuntu ngalanto. Ngoku bendifanele uba ndiyithathe la icanga kwam ndidiniwe ndiqhwabe ngayo.
Sir, I was not going to kill anyone with that weapon. Then I had to take it just next to me and then use it to make rhythm or to clap with it.
Very well. May I ask you to turn to photo 9.
Icela ke uye ku photo number le yethoba.
Before you do that, Mr. Magidiwana, can I just ask you, was this the only stage on the 16th that you would have been in possession of two weapons?
Into acela ubuza ke usihlalo into kubana commissioner le ndawo ubibone apha yiyo yodwa indawo phange 16 owawuphethe kuyo izixhobo ezimbini kulapha qha.
Ewe yiyo yodwa.
Yes, that is the only place.
For the purposes of making the clicking sound?
Injongo yakho yayikufama wenza isinqi ngazo.
Ngaso
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you give the sharpened iron back to the person from whom you've taken it after you?
Wayibuyisela kumuntu wayo kakhona la ncula kwakhona?
Ewe.
Yes.
Do you know what is the name of that person to whom you gave back the weapon?
Lo muntu ke wambuyisela ke incula wamnika yona uyalazi igama lakhe?
Hayi ndimalazi igama lakhe yena kodwa ndiyamqaphela uba nguye lo canga kwam nangoku kule andikhomba kuyo eyiphethe.
No, I don't know his name, but I remember him in the photo. He even is holding it and then next to me and pointing it at me.
Was that the only occasion on that day when you had two weapons in your hands?
Uthi ke ngale mini yayililo qha ixesha apho wawuphethe khona izixhobo ezimbini kwakulapha qha.
Ewe.
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Uqinisekile ngalonto leyo?
Ndiqinisekile ungatsho ke wena ke nxa ikhona elinye ixesha.
I am sure if there was any other occasion you can say so.
So let's be clear. You're saying the time at which you were sitting at the copy, as we observe on this photograph, that's the only occasion on which you were carrying two weapons.
Uthi ke ixesha wawuphethe ngalo pha indabeni izixhobo ezimbini kungelixesha ke apha ngelixesha uchophile
Ndiqhwaba ngazo.
doing the clicking with them.
And that is the only occasion on which you were carrying 2 weapons.
Kwakungeli tyeli kanye ngeli xesha qha apho wawuphethe khona izixhobo ezimbini. Yes.
Sitting on the copy.
Uchophile pha entabeni.
Mhlekazi.
Yes, sir.
So when you stood up, you gave the weapon back and there was no other occasion on which you carried 2 weapons.
Wathi ke xa uma ngenyawo wabuyisela isixhobo esi kumuntu waso khange kube kuphinde kubekho elinye ixesha apho buphethe khona izixhobo ezimbini.
Ndithi khange mhlekazi. Ndithe ungatsho wena nxa ikhona uyazi.
I said there was never such an occasion. I said if you are aware of any other occasion, you can say so.
And if I show you another occasion, you will admit that what you've just said was untrue.
Ukuba ndingakubonisa elinye ithuba apho uphethe izixhobo ezimbini uzawuvuma into yokuba wamkele into yokuba le ugqibo uyithetha ngoku ayinyani.
Ngondibonisa.
Show me.
Look at photo 9.
Jonga ke kapha kule photo yethoba 9.
Look at the insert.
Ndiyayibona.
I can see it.
You are carrying 2 sticks there, or 2 weapons.
Ujongisise kakuhle nawe wena.
Are you really looking closely here?
Ujongisise kakuhle namhlekazi noyijongile wena.
When you look here, are you really having a closer look?
Yasibona isandla sami sokunxele basibambe induku ngapha. Esinye singapha ya.
Are you seeing that my left hand, I am carrying a stick, but my other arm or hand is on the other side?
What I put to you is you are carrying 2 weapons.
Into ndixela yona into yokuba uphethe izixhobo ezimbini.
Ezinto ziphethwe ngulo kwam.
These weapons I carried.
Abaphambi kwam.
These weapons are carried by the man who is standing next to me, but then they are protruding and are near or close to me.
Uqule ngayo yena.
He's the one who's holding them and even looking at me.
You expect the commission to believe that?
Ulindele into yoba ke ngoku le commission ikholelwe loo nto leyo.
Ake mhlekazi. Ndithe ungatsho uqhubeleke kodwa ndiyamcacisela mina indlela evele ngayo lena.
No, then say you can continue in whatever way in which you continue, but I'm explaining to you as to how they are then protruding.
Ukuba ngaba lo muntu ebengapha kwam. Icala lenene ngendiva lento uyithethayo.
Then if that person then was on my right hand side, I would then understand what you are saying.
Where is this person that you're referring to who's carrying these 2 weapons protruding?
Lo muntu uthetha ngaye uphethe izixhobo ezimbini ezivelileyo. Uphi lo muntu lowo?
Andimazi kaloku uphi ngoku. Abantu abaninzi babona phandle bakababoni nangoku kuba nokuhamba ngentonga.
I don't know, because many people that I see there in that picture, I have not seen them again.
Ndithi ndihamba ngentonga abantu abaninzi andikababoni.
I am working on with the crutches, so many people I have not met or seen them.
The question wasn't put with as much clarity as it should have. What I'm asking is, on this photograph, where is this person? On the photograph, who you saying is carrying the weapons that are protruding?
Into endiyibuzayo ke ngoku into yokuba lo muntu uphethe izixhobo ezivelileyo kule foto othetha ngayo uba zivelile. Uphi apha kule foto lo muntu uthetha ngayo? Apha xa sijonge kule foto solathise lo muntu nayo undawuni apha?
Nanko ecaleni kwami efake laa nto echebeni enenqayi naye.
He's standing right next to me, but with a bald head.
You mean the one to your left?
Uthi lo ume apha ngasekhohlo akuwe ngasekhohlo. Yes.
You're saying this person is carrying the weapons that are protruding in front of you?
Uthi lo muntu ke nguye lophethe izixhobo ezivele phambi kwakho.
nguye mna ndigqithile apha kuye kancinci into esondeleyo kum sisixhobo sakhe.
He's the one because I am a bit in front of him, and the thing that is closer, in fact, to me is his weapon.
Just look at the photograph below where you are. You see the big photo?
Ndicela ukujonga le photo ngezantsi le inkulu apha. Uyayibona?
It's a magnified version of your image in the higher photo.
Uthi ke le bakhulisele umfanekiso bawenze bengathi umkhulu apha izantsi kodwa ikwangulo. Uyawubona ke lo mfanekiso. I see it.
Well, having regard to that magnified photograph, do you still persist that the person who's carrying those weapons is the one who is to your left in the higher photograph?
Chairperson, I'm sorry. What weapons are we talking about? Can Mr. Ngalwana explain where the, apart from the stick, where this other weapon and what it is?
Unokwazi ke uchachaze uCouncillor Ngalwana ba ngesinye isixhobo eso and usibambe njani.
Intended to be an objection.
Yes, Chairperson. Well,
What's the objection?
well, it is that the plural weapons is used, and we're not told which weapons are referred to. You can't just say a weapon. There's no such thing as a weapon, Chairperson. It's either, he says it's a stick, a gun, a rocket, or whatever it is.
Uba umpofu ufuna chaze ke angathi nje isixhobo kodwa uba into ngatsho kuba into okanye uba ngumpu azotsho uba ngumpu kanye ngumbayimbayi.
I'm referring to the weapons on the image, Chairperson.
Also wants, Mr. Mpofu says, what weapons are you talking about? He seems... So he seems to think that you can't see two weapons on the photograph. So he wants you to describe what exactly you're referring to, in the interest of enabling the witness to understand what the question is. So I think the question could be perhaps clarified a bit.
Uthiwa ke uba uNgalwana uzochaza kakuhle uba ezoxhobo athetha ngazo ngeziphi na mhlawumbi ke nombuzo lo uzawucaca ca.
Mr. Magidwan, the two instruments that you are carrying in that photograph, or let me put it this way, the two instruments that appear in that photograph, are you still persisting that it is not you who are carrying those two instruments, but rather the person who appears to your left in the bigger photo?
Ezi izixhobo zimbini zivela apha kulo mfanekiso. Usatsho nangoku na into ba aziphethwanga nguwe kodwa saziphethwe ngulo mntu ume ecaleni kwakho.
Ndibona induku umuntu endiphetheyo apha.
All that I see myself carrying in this picture is a stick.
Are you carrying one or two instruments in that photograph?
Uphethe isixhobo esinye okanye uphethe ezimbini na?
Ndithi ndibona induku into endiyiphetheyo inye.
I'm saying all that I see myself carrying is one stick.
It's quite clear from the main photograph that you are carrying something in your left hand. Would you agree with that?
Kucacile ke ngapha kulo mfanekiso kuba kwesandla salapha ngasekhohlo uphethe intonga enye kwisandla sakho sangasekhohlo. Uyayibona loo nto?
Ewe.
Yes.
Now, if you look to the left of your left hand, one can see another hand, particularly in the enlargement, and there appears to be a stick being held in that hand. Would you agree with that?
Xa ujonga ke kwelinye icala kwesinye isandla sakho ikhona enye into ibonakala uyiphethe apha isandleni sakho induku uvumelana nam kuloo nto leyo ba injalo loo nto?
Hayi.
No.
Does not your right hand with the green sleeve appear also in that insert, Mr. Magadiwan?
Esisandla sivele apha ke sasekunene sinomkhono kanye isinxibo somkhono oluhlaza. Ayingalo yakho le?
There's part of a green sleeve and then a red item above it.
Apho sibona khona ingalo ke ngokapho kunxitywe kubonakala isinxibo esiluhlaza kwakunye ke nento eyembathiweyo ebomvu. Le ngalo kanye ivele apho ayingalo yakho?
Isn't that your right forearm?
Ayingalo yakho leyo?
Kweli cala le left ndibona ningathi ndibumba inqindi. Kanje.
What I see on my left hand is that I have clenched a fist.
We're talking about to the right, on the right hand, the
Sithetha ke ngeli cala langasekunene.
part of a green sleeve and then a red item above it. Do you see that?
Apho sibona kuvele khona isihlahla umkhono omde kwakunye ke nento ebomvu apha ngaphezulu.
You see that, sir?
Uyibona loo nto leyo?
Ndiyabona.
I see it.
The person on the left of you is wearing a blue garment.
Kukho lo mntu ke ulapha ke apha ngasekhohlo unxibe into umntla oblue.
Different color to the garment you're wearing.
Imibala inxibileyo ayifani neyakho.
Ewe.
Yes.
It can't be any part of his hand or arm that's in the photograph.
Asinawuthi ke mhlawumbi ingalo yakhe okanye sisandla sakhe sivele apha kule ifoto.
Isn't that right?
Ayinjalo loo nto?
Isn't that right, Mr. Magadiwana?
Mhlekazi uMagidwana, ayinjalo loo nto?
Kweli cala le left leli kanti ndibumbe inqindi kwangakulo. Apha ndiphethe induku.
On my left side, it is the hand in which I have clenched a fist, and then he's saying on this other side, then I'm carrying a stick.
So are you saying that in that insert, what appears on to be your right forearm is not in fact your right forearm?
Uthi lento ke ibonakala apha kulo mfanekiso ngathi yingalo yakho yangasekunene ayingalo yakho leyiveleyo apha.
Ingalo ivelile kodwa ingathi ndibumbe inqindi kanje.
Yes, the forearm is visible there, it's appearing, but it's like I have clenched a fist like this, as the witness has indicated.
Yes, thank you.
Enkosi.
Mr. Magadiwana, we're nearing tea time, and I'd like to remind you, perhaps something to sip on.
Uthi ke usesondeleke ngokuxesha lokuba sike siyothuba unqano ngeti kufuna ukukhumbuza ke into ozothi ngekwelo xesha ukuthi ukuyicingisisa.
Remember what the chairperson told you yesterday about the importance of telling the truth.
Usakhumbula usihlalo ukutheni kuwe izolo kubaleka kokuthetha inyaniso.
Lilonke ukuthi andithetha inyaniso.
In other words, are you saying I'm not telling the truth?
Yes.
Ewe.
But the point is, you remember what the chairperson told you about the importance of telling the truth.
Kodwa ke into enikuyo ngoku into yokuba usakhumbula usihlalo utheni na ngoku yabexelela ngokubaleka kokuthetha inyaniso.
Ndiyamkhumbula.
I remember him saying that.
You do yourself no favors by not telling the truth.
Akho nto uzinceda ngayo ke ngokungathethi inyaniso.
It doesn't help you to deny the undeniable.
Ukuphika into engenawuphikiswa ayincedi loo nto leyo nganto.
And I put it to you that it's pretty clear from that footage, that photograph, that you are carrying two instruments.
Uthi ke kucace cha nakulo mfanekiso into yokuba uphethe izixhobo ezimbini.
That when you said the only occasion on which you were carrying two weapons was when you were sitting on the copy on the 16th?
No, the person, honestly, you can't ask a question like that. It changes from instruments to weapons, and in the same breath. That's not being genuine with the witness.
Ingata ingene kakuhle lenokuba
Might be
umpofu
helpful
xa.
keep the same terminology throughout the question. It would be a more elegant way of putting the question.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Sisebenzise igama elinye layo singawasebenzisi wonke siwabize ngendlela ezininzi.
It's pretty clear, Mr. Magidiwana, that when you said in your evidence throughout that there was only one occasion on which you were carrying two instruments, and that was when you were sitting on the copy on the 16th of August, 2012, was incorrect.
Chairperson, I have to object again. The witness has never said anything about carrying two instruments. He said there was only one occasion where he was carrying two weapons. So you can't put something that the witness did not say. You can say whatever you want to say, but don't say the witness said it.
Ucela ke uba umpofu into yokuba yonke into okuthiwa uyithethile ithethwe ngalaa ndlela uyithethe ngayo hayi ngenye indlela.
Mr. Magidiwana, it's pretty clear that when you said, and I'm going to round this up, when you said earlier that there was only one occasion on which you were carrying two weapons was when you were sitting on the copy on the 16th was incorrect.
Into ayithethayo ke ngoku uCouncil ungalwani into yokuba xa usithi wena ixesha apho uphethe khona izixhobo ezimbini kwakungela xesha nge-16 wawuhleli phansi phaa entabeni qha uthi xa uyithetha ngolo hlobo awuyibeki ngobunjalo bayo ayinyani ngamanye amazwi. Uthini ke wena xa uphendula kule nto ayithethayo?
Ndithe kumhlekazi makayixele kaloku lena ayaziyo.
I said to the council that he must then mention the occasion that he is aware of.
Well, let's leave that for the moment. Let's turn to something else. If you look at that, the inset photograph, we see your left hand, it looks like your thumb up, holding an instrument. Is that correct?
Xa sijonge ke ngoku apha kungalo yakho le yangasekunene sibona ke ngoku umntla wakho luhlaza kwaye nobhontsi lo wakho ingathi ke uvelile nawo ubonisa into yoba kukho isixhobo siphetheyo. Uyayibona loo nto?
You see that?
Uyayibona?
Le nto ingathi likhona ikho ngapha kwami ibanjwe ndim.
This thing that looks like a stick, is it not on my other side? Am I the one then carrying it?
Chairperson, sorry, just again, I'm sorry to interrupt. With the interpretation, the interpreter is quite right, but I need to emphasize that the word that is used for stick, meaning the kiri, and the word that the witness used, ikuni, which is like a log or a piece of
twig. Sorry, in fact, it's a twig.
Twig, yes, that's
twig,
a better.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Yeah, says the thing that looks like a twig.
Yes.
Anyway, that's not strictly relevant to what I was dealing with.
Yeah. Well,
in your left hand, you are holding something. You agree? You can see. You can see your thumb. You are holding something. Is that correct?
I'm
talking about your left hand.
Yes, I can see this thumb which is up on my other hand, but the other one.
Yet. Let's talk about your left hand first. Your left hand, we see your thumb up, and you are holding an instrument of some kind, whether it's a weapon or just a long rod or whatever. I'm not concerned with. You are holding something which is a longish stick or instrument of some kind. That's correct, isn't it?
Kodwa ke jemba apha kule ngalo sibona into ba ubhontsi ngathi woluliwe ukhona into ende nje oyiphetheyo apha ke isandla esi sasekhohlo uyayibona loo nto? Yes.
Now let's look at your right hand.
Masijonge isandla sakho ke ngoku sasekunene.
We can see your right hand, can we not?
Uyasibona isandla sakho sasekunene?
Ndiyasibona.
Yes, I can see it.
We can see your green sleeve of your right arm.
Uyabona ke ngoku nalapha ke into nomkhono omde ingalo yakho apha ingalo yakhe unxibe into elihlaza ngaphezulu. Yes.
There is an object in your right hand, is there not?
Kuyisandla sakho ke kunene ikhona into oyiphetheyo injalo loo nto?
hayi
No.
Are you and I looking at the same picture?
Sobabini sijonge umfanekiso omnye na?
ewe sijonga umfanekiso omnye.
Yes, we are looking at the same picture.
Well, I suggested while you were sipping the drink that Mr. Ngwana talked about during tea time, you also look again at that picture, and we'll ask you again about it after tea.
Uthi ke njengoba soke sithi ukuya phe siyofumana into siyosela siyothoba unqalo soselithi ngeli xesha sethini ukuye ujongisa kakuhle la mfanekiso.
kulungile.
It is fine.
You'll take the tea adjournment at this stage.
Si okwangoku saya phaa etini.
tyhola ngekhuni elithe xa ecaleni.
No, that's but then
Masimen ngenyawo iyaqhubekeka iCommission kwakhona.
The Commission resumes. You're still under oath, Mr. Magdiwana?
Bawo ke usafungile ne?
Fungile bawo. Sayithetha inyaniso.
Did you look at the picture during the theodrome?
Chairperson, if I may, with the cooperation, at least, of Mr. Ngalwan, what we did was, because it became clear that the version that we all, or at least that we have, and the witness is unintelligible. So we arranged that the computer, one of the assistants will be taken to the witness, because Mr. Ngalwan and I at least have a view about what you can see when that is done. Thank you.
For it to be done, has not been done yet.
No, we thought it would be done in proper session.
All right.
Thank you.
You heard what Mr. Mpofu said. Would the computer please be taken to the witness so you can see the...
Uzawuzwa iComputer, uzoboniswa kuComputer la mfanekiso uzowujonga kakuhle kuComputer.
Yes, Chairperson, what we propose, yes, what we propose is Mr. Luba is going to show the commissioners the still photograph, and then we'll show the witness and then the legal representatives.
Qala ophethe i-laptop leyo abonise i-commissioner emveni koko ke ngokazobonisa inqina lo mfanekiso kwi-computer.
Can you now see what I was talking about?
This is a twig.
Well, never mind the twig. You denied that you had an object in your hand. Do you now concede that there was an object in your hand?
Buphika qala into ba akhonto awuphethanga akhonto iphetheyo kusana sakho sasekunene.
Ukuba mhlekazi liye laqephuka ndibamba kuba bekusisiqhuduqhudu kuphaka kwela xesha senze kwenzeka le nto. Inoba laqephuka laqephuka kodwa ke lona likhuna isosixhobo esi. Ineqhayi le nto ethe ezimbini into ezingathi ezimbini. Incula injalo ayinaxhayi incula.
Because there was chaos there, perhaps in the process, then it broke. And when we look at the tip thereof, it is Y-shaped. And that is not how an iron object, which is incula, is shaped.
We're not talking about that. Just concentrate on the question.
It's not a weapon. That was not a weapon.
Don't waste our time about irrelevancies. The question I asked you was, do you now concede that there is an object that you were holding in your right hand?
Umbuzo obuzwa into yokuba uyavuma ke ngoku into yokuba ikhona lento ibambileyo apha kusana sakho sasekunene.
Icacile kule.
Yes, in this picture it is clear.
Understand that. Now, what is that object?
Commissioner?
What is that object?
What is that object? Okay. La nto iphetheyo pha yintoni ke?
Likhuni.
It is a twig.
Okay. You said something broke off. Can you repeat that answer and elaborate so we can follow it?
Uthi ukhona into obuyichaza into yoba ngoku kwakho isiphithiphithi into yophukayo. Uthi kwenzeke ntoni apho ngokuthetha ngento yophukileyo?
Ndithi kwezo siphithiphithi besenzeka pha inoba lophuka ndalibamba ke nandilanto nje uba kube kwisichovana nochovana kulanto ingusisithuthuthu kuba lona lineqhayi lento kanje apha ngalo elinye ibugoso kancinci ngenye ayiphelelanga ngapha kodwa ibuqhayi so incula ikhona ayiloqhayi ibukhali.
All I'm saying was that because there was that chaos there, it happened, might have happened that in the process it broke off. And when we look at that object, it is Y-shaped. On the other side, it is Q. And it seems like on the other side, it is not that long. And that is not how a sharpened iron is shaped, because an inula is sharp at the end, as a sharp point.
Ngubane, you want to take the point further?
Just in one respect, Chair. Thank you. So, Mr. Magediwana, you're saying this object that you're holding, that you now admit you are holding on your right hand, broke off.
Uthi ke ukule nto uyiphetheyo apha kwisandla sakho sasekunene into eyathi yophuka.
Hayi into yabutophuka mhlekazi le.
Into eya?
Eyophukayo.
Yes, it is an object that had that broke off.
So what we see in the picture is not the entire, is not the whole instrument that you had previously, because you're saying it broke off. Something broke off.
Again, with the word instrument, I think you should use a more neutral word than that.
I thought instrument is more neutral than weapon.
No.
No, instrument indicates something that you've got, you're using to do something with. Whereas if you're just carrying a broken branch,
Chairperson used object. The chairperson
that was the word I used before.
Yes.
So you like it, Mr. Wolf? All right. Well, let's hope Mr. Ngubane will like it too.
Makazama uyibeka ngenye indlela ke umhlekazi ungalwana.
Are you, with your trammeled memory, are you able to remember what object broke off from the object we see in the picture?
Kule mfanekiso ke kule nto uyiphetheyo sibona ba yophukile apha kulo mfanekiso usayikhumbula into ba yophuke entweni.
Ba yintoni leyo phukileyo ibipha yintoni leyo phukileyo xa usithi yophukile lento iphetheyo?
Sicanga ngobuhlandi kaloku pha.
There it is close to the crown.
Yes, I understand that. What I'm asking is what broke off from the object we see in the picture? You said it broke off.
Kule nto tiyophukileyo kule nto ke ngoku oyiphethe apha into leyophukileyo kuyo.
Lisafa.
It is a branch.
Very well. I now move on to a different point.
Before you move on, can I just say, my colleague Advocate Hemorrhage wants to ask you a question.
Commissioner umnye ke ukumbuza funa ukubuza wona.
When would you come into possession of this branch, as you call it?
Lo sihlahla ke uye wakwazi ulibamba nini?
Ndithe kwabo ubutyhuthu bekusenzeka pha kuba siphoswana ngamanzi kufakwa amanzi kufakwa ithiyagesi inoba layo laqhawuka elo xetha kuloo nto exesha ndinandibambelela phayana kuba kukho ilaa nto kumthi olapha ecaleni kwam straight.
I said because of the chaos that was at that stage, and further the fact that water was being sprayed on us and that we were being fired with tear gas. It could have happened that during the process, then I leaned or held onto the branch because there next to me was a tree.
What were you going to do with it? What were you going to do with it?
Wawuzokwenza ntoni ngayo ke loo nto leyo? Ngekhuni?
Zeningazukwenza nto qala umini nje kukubi kuba zesibethwa lumini. Ile mini besisifa ngayo.
I was not going to do anything, but on that day it was bad. We were being assaulted. It is the day on which we were dying.
Thank you, Mr. Mark.
Enkosi bawo.
One of you can now move on to your next point, unless you want to still stay with this one for a bit. But I think it's been taken as far as it can be taken, if it's been taken anywhere at all.
Both the point and I are exhausted, Chair, on this issue.
Uthi ke sidiniwe.
Mr. Magediwana, you will recall, correct me if I'm wrong, that in your evidence in chief, either yesterday or 2 days ago, I think it was yesterday, you testified when asked the question to the effect that the most or many people in your group, what type of, shall we say, objects they were carrying. You said sticks. You remember that?
Usakhumbula ke izolo ngokuya bubuzwa into yokuba uninzi labantu ke kwela qala lakho babephethe luhloboni lesixhobo wena waze wathi babephethe intonga. Usayikhumbula loo nto?
Ndiyayikhumbula loo nto.
I remember that.
You were in fact even asked whether there was anyone, you saw anyone, or there was anyone carrying a gun.
Kukho ixesha apho buke wabuza into yoba ukhona umntu buke wambona ephethe umpu na.
Ewe ndiyayikhumbula loo nto bendibuzwa.
Yes, I remember when I was asked about that.
You remember your answer?
Usakhumbula impendulo yakho ba ibingeyiphi na?
Ewe ndiyayikhumbula loo mpendulo.
Yes, I still remember the answer.
You said no.
Uthe hayi.
Ndithe hayi andimazi.
Yes, I said no, I don't know him.
Cast your eye again on that photograph, 9.
Kuphinde kakhona ke ujonge kule photo le number 9 yethoba.
You see the person next to you to your left in what seems like a blue navy sweater.
Uyambona ke lo muntu ulapha ke ngakuwe ngasekhohlo kodwa unxibe umntla apha ongathi blue okanye navy.
Ewe ndiyambona mhlekazi.
Yes, I can see him say.
What's he carrying?
Uphethe ntoni lo mntu?
Lo mntu uphethe umkhonto kunye nencula.
This person is holding a spear and a sharpened iron.
And the person immediately behind you? Can you see that person?
Behind who?
Behind you.
Lo yena osemva kwakho, omemva kwakho uphethe ntoni yena? Uyambona?
Uvele induku andiqondi kakuhle ke le ngapha into ivilileyo noba intoni yona na noba kalama khona pha noba intoni na.
What is protruding here is a stick, but the other that is on the other side is not clear to me as to whether it was a twig or one of the branch in those trees.
If a witness suggested that it is in fact a sharp weapon, would you be in a position to dispute that?
Ukuba kungabakho ingqina elingathi esi yayisisixhobo esibukhali. Xa kuthethwa loo nto, ungayiphikisa loo nto wena?
Kaloku mhlekazi ndithanda ndiyiboni kakuhle mna ndinoyiphikisa ngoba ndiyiboni kakuhle yona ayicacanga ukuvela kwayo ndiyayibona nje ibivelile ndanoba incula noba ngumkhonto noba likhuni.
Sir, what I'm saying is that I see, but it is not clear to me as to whether it is a twig or a spear or a sharpened iron. It is not clear to me.
If you look at the person, 2 persons from you, or rather shall we say 3, looks like a brown sweater with a towel, something wrapped around, who's looking directly into the picture. Do you see that? The person who's last to the right-hand side of the photo.
Ukuba sijonge abanye abantu ke ngokumuntu wesithathu okanye wesintu kusuka pha kuwe lo sibona lokubana unxibe umntla ke webala elimdaka ibala eline ingathi ujonga apha phambili ngqo kumfanekiso uyambona lo mntu lo yena?
Ndiyambona mhlekazi.
Yes, I can see him.
Do you see where the yellow arrow is pointing?
Uyabona ke ngoku le arrow le imthubi kuba ikhombe phi na?
Ikhombe ezantsi.
Yes, it's pointing downwards.
What is it pointing at?
Ikhombe ntoni?
Ngele kuba ungeza i-computer kuba imfiliba le nto andiyiboni kakuhle nayo.
Unless a computer can be brought, because this is not clear, I cannot clearly see it.
Look at the insert below the yellow arrow.
Masibone ke ngoku kulapha ezantsi ke kwale arrow apha kulo mfanekiso ezantsi lo uveleyo napha kumabonakude apha ngase right.
Ingathi ngumpu mhlekazi.
It seems like it's a firearm, sir.
You say it seems like. It is a firearm, is it not?
Uthi ngathi ngumpu lowa.
Oh.
No. Ndithi wena uthi ingathi. Ndithi. You must agree with me that it is a firearm.
I don't know if my learned friend is giving evidence now.
Come on, it's a question he's asking. It's a question that's... you can
No, it's
ask.
a
The kind
statement.
of question
He
you
says
can ask. He said you must agree with me. The witness will say I don't agree with you. Or you say I do. I don't think there's anything wrong with the question. I disallow that if you can carry on.
You must agree that that is a firearm, not so.
Ungavumelana nami ke into yokuba lento evele pha ngumpu injalo lonto.
Hayi ningavumelana nawe mhlekazi kuba nami le nto ndiyayibona ngathi ngumpu.
No, I can agree with you, sir, because I also can say it seems like a firearm.
In fact, to uncloud your vision, we'll play, may I ask for the footage? It's an Al Jazeera footage that was played showing the protesters, shall we say, let me use the witness's word, dashing at the police line, and one of them firing at the police on the 16th of August 2012.
Uthi ke ngoku kukho ividiyo acela idlalwe apha apho kubonakala abaqhankqalazi xa isithi babeza apha kumngalo wamapolisa ngeli xesha umuntu lowo ke ngena wayidubula amapolisa 16.
I don't think it's the correct footage, Chairperson. It's the one it's an Al Jazeera footage, and there is a voice-over on it.
Uthi ayiyo ke le video ye-Al Jazeera yona.
It's triple E 3.4.
Thank you, Ms. Pillay.
Julle skryf nader, daar gaan 'n speech kom.
That's not the one either.
Ayiyo le.
Chair, for the purposes of the technician, it's triple E 3.4. ENCA South Africa seeks to understand Marikana massacre.
Tightly packed and sticks and machetes. South African police forced these miners into an area with razor wire. Then they boxed them in using armoured vehicles.
That's not the correct
Then
footage
this
either,
happened.
Chairperson.
Nale ayiyo. Oh, iyo. Iyo le.
I think it's further on, Ms. Ngalwana, if you let the clip play. What you're looking for is towards the end of the clip.
Okay, if you can continue playing it.
They boxed them in using armoured vehicles. Then this happened. All of this to break up a protest by miners who've been demanding more pay. 10 people have been killed since the start of this illegal strike, and violence blamed on union rivalry. Now more families will be mourning. But with alleged killers among their ranks, including those who had hacked 2 police officers to death on Monday, this was the bloody aftermath. Police pursued the miners and there was gunfire for another half an hour. Tear gas and water cannon too, as they rounded up the miners who had escaped the initial confrontation.
Several times, I don't
Police
know
on
why I see it
horseback
again.
swept
Is
the
this the
area
passage you're
looking
for?
for pockets of
No, it
resistance.
isn't, Chairperson, with
It
respect.
isn't. It isn't.
Intilo ayiyo le.
Well, perhaps you could move on to another point, and then we're stopping at 1 o'clock, as you know, today. I don't know how long you will be. If you are not finished by 1 o'clock, if you've not finished your cross-examination by 1 o'clock, when we resume on Monday morning, you presumably will have found the tape, and you can then put it to the witness.
I shall. Thank you, Chairperson. Mshagazi, towards the peroration, or rather, all right, okay. Towards the end of your evidence yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you to say when Mr. Matunjwa addressed you on the first occasion, because as we've established, there is no record of the second occasion. When Mr. Matunjwa addressed you on the second occasion, you testified that he said, among other things, that the employer had said he was going to send the police to kill you on the copy. Do you remember saying that?
Uyakhumbula izolo ke ngokya be kugqityezelwa okanye kugqitywa izolo into ithethileyo into yokuba ngela xesha wayethetha nani isihlandlo sokuqala uMathunjwa wathi kuye kuni umqeshi uthumele amapolisa ukuba azawunibulala.
Ndiyayikhumbula mhlekazi.
I remember it, sir.
And you were there that day and you heard it yourself. It's not hearsay.
Wawukhona wena phaya wazivela ngokwakho injalo loo nto?
Ndandiphambili mhlekazi, ndazivela ngokwami eguqene ngamadolo.
I was in front, sir. I heard it for myself. He was even kneeling.
Are you sure he kneeled on the first occasion?
Uqinisekile into yoba ngokuya wayeze isihlandlo sokuqala waguqa ngedolo?
Kwesesibini.
On the second occasion.
Sokuqala wayechophile.
On the first occasion, he was sitting.
Baqale bachopha bonke. Omnye wayochama kwesokuqala.
In the first occasion, they all first sat, and the other one went to pass out urine.
Wabuya lo beyochama.
The one who had gone to urinate then came back.
Baye bade bathi abasebenzi sizova kakuhle. Sicela usibolekele ispeaker emapoliseni ukuze sivuwe sonke abantu bave bonke.
Then it was suggested by the workers that we will not be able to hear clearly. Can you please go to the police officers and borrow a loud hailer so that we can all hear?
Sengakabikho kobugebenga baye bavela late.
Then the fatality that happened at a later stage had not yet happened by then.
Well, this travels far wider than my question calls for. The question was that you recall, you recall your evidence in which you said on the first occasion, Mr. Matunjwa said the employer had said they were going to send the police to kill you on the copy. That's all.
Into utauka
That was not his evidence, Chairperson.
twakhange utsho ke into kuba wawuthe uMathunjwa wathi umqeshi uzawuthumela amapolisa.
To him as a question, he said yes. So that makes it his evidence if he agrees to what's been put to him in the question. Doesn't it? So I don't think it's a good objection. I think let Mr. Ngalwana carry on.
No, Chairperson, with great respect, I think what Mr. Ngalwana is confusing is the clarification that the chairperson gave, which showed that the statement might have even been made on both occasions. When you went to 009, it was not from the witness that it was said on the first occasion. But
uthi ke ikhankanywe kanye ichazo londo ngoku bekucelwa ingcaciso ngosihlalo le kuthiwe iku-009.
Confess that what Mr. Mpofu says coincides with my recollection. That the witness said this was said on the second occasion, and it was challenged and so forth. And then I pointed out that and you at that stage suggested that it had been recorded. That was later clarified it hadn't been recorded. But then I quoted from the exhibit which showed that it had been said on the first occasion. But I don't remember the witness himself confirming that he heard it on the first occasion. As far as I can recall, he didn't deal with that topic in his evidence. But I'm not sure.
Uthiwa ukhunjulwa ke uthetha loo nto ingakumbi uthi yenzekile kwisihlandlo sokuqala.
Yeah. So, as far as we can recall, that the witness didn't say that he heard Mr. Matunjwa say that on the first occasion. I also think he didn't say he didn't hear him say it on the first occasion. I don't think that topic was dealt with. But perhaps you can revisit it shortly to avoid confusion, because if you want to extract an answer that you can use in argument later, it's best to make sure there's no confusion when the question's asked.
It's fine, Chair. I thought I'd asked you the question. Oh, sorry.
Uzacelwa ke uCouncillor Ngalwana ibuze ngendlela ecacileyo kwenzela into yobana ekugqibeleni ungabikho kubhidana okukhoyo ngalomba.
Chairperson, I propose to revisit the video that we unsuccessfully tried to play so that we can close that chapter and then move on.
Are you giving the assurance that when we revisit it, we will successfully see it?
I am given the assurance.
Okay.
So
It's a hearsay assurance, and then we'll carry on.
Thank you, Chair.
Iyaqinisekisa into yoba ngoku le video bingabonakali kakuhle uzawukwazi ukuthi abone le nto afuna uyibona azocacisa lo mba kanye afuna ucaciswe.
Audio, please.
Sifuna kisandi.
They've been striking for more than a week. These platinum mine workers are showing they don't intend to give up, despite the killing of their colleagues by police on Thursday. South Africa's police chief has defended their actions, saying strikers challenged the officers with guns, spears and machetes. An Al Jazeera camera there.
No, please play on.
The time of the shooting confirms a miner did fire a gun toward police positions. But the former president of the African National Congress...
Mr. Magidiwana, that is your group. I put it to you as depicted in photo 9. Would you dispute that?
Uthi ke elaqela lipha ngeli livelayo apha ke ngoku nakulo mfanekiso photo 9 into ayibuza into ba uyayiphika lonto leyo na? I don't dispute it.
The person who is 2 or 3 persons behind you in photo 9, I put it to you, is the person who is shown on the video shooting at the police. Would you dispute that?
Kodwa ke lo muntu uvela pha kula video edubula amapolisa ngulo wesithathu kanye wesine apha kule photo le ibizwa unumber 9. Umbuzo wakhe into yokuba lo nto uyayiphika.
Bekhona bese begqithile ke bebengaphambili mhlekazi apha nalapha kumni kuba nami bendibugqitha apha kuye ngayigqitha kuye
Ububugqitha apha kuye.
ewe phambi kwakhe lo muntu lo xa kuba iliphepha ndibise andikho secanga kwakhe ndiphambile kancinci apha kuye.
There are people who were in front, in fact, who had already passed, who have gone, because even in this picture, though it looks like he's next to me, in fact, it's not next to me because I'm right in front of him.
But you do not dispute that he is carrying a gun, he is shooting at the people, he is at the police, and he is part of your group.
Awuphiki ke into yokuba lo muntu uphethe.
33 questions in one. Perhaps you should put them one by one, because otherwise you won't get an answer that will be much value to you later on.
Thank you, Chairperson. You do not dispute that this person who's shooting at the police is part of your group.
Awuphiki na into yokuba lo muntu udubula amapolisa ngomnye owaye kwiqela lakho.
Andiphiki mhlekazi ngoba ndiyambona ulapha kuthi.
I don't dispute, sir, because I can see that he's among us.
So when you said in your evidence that you do not, you didn't see anyone or you knew of no one holding a gun, that wasn't correct, was it?
Ngelixesha busithi ke ngokwana khange ubone mntu uphethe mpu. Ngoku busitsho uthetha lonto leyo bungathethi inyani.
Imamhlekazi wami ngizomphendula.
Wait, sir, I will answer him.
Mhlekazi,
Sir,
lo muntu jibevela kule ndawo ndigqithile kuye. Esenza lento nje ndiyibona apha kwivideo nami le bali na kukhona umuntu wadubulayo edubula amapolisa ephindisa naye kuba sithe sivela thina abantu bephambili sesidutyulo.
Sir, what I want to say to you is that as this is appearing in the picture, in fact, I've already gone past this person, and it was at the time the police were shooting at us, and he was shooting back at that stage. I didn't see it at that stage, but I just saw it in the video, and that was between the two nyalas.
You cannot dispute that he is shooting in the direction of the police.
Ndithi mhlekazi andiyiphiki le nto bandiyambona nyhani apha kwezi video ba uyadubula kodwa lamene zange ndibone umuntu odubulayo kuba zendibaleka
I don't deny it, though on that day I never saw anyone shooting, but I only saw it on the videos that he was shooting, because on that day I was also fleeing.
Mambush, that's a pet name, isn't it?
Mambush ke sisteketiso injalo lonto.
Ndazi lento kaMambushi kodwa ke mna yazi kuba noba sisteketiso noba intoni na kodwa ndazi into kaMambushi lento kaNuki ndiyive ngoku apha nakuthiwa uMambushi nguNuki nandithi ndandilele kumuntu othiwa nguMambushi kodwa hayi nguNuki lowo.
Whether Mambush is his pet name or not, but that is how I know him. But I only heard in this commission that he is also a Noki. But when I was told that I was lying next to Mambush, I was told here then that that person is in fact Noki.
The point is you knew, Mr. Noki. You knew Mambush.
Kodwa ke umba kanye into endikuyo into yokuba uMambushi kanye uNuki lo bingumuntu omaziyo.
umambochi ebengumuntu engimaziyo.
Yes, I know Mambushi.
How long had you known him?
Buse unexesha elingakanani umazi.
Ndimaze ufika kwami phaba lo muntu kuthiwa ngumambochi sedlala ibhola lo xesha ningalazi into yakhe ba ngubani igama lakhe ngisazi lento kaMambochi ufike kusithiwa Mambochi.
I knew him when I first arrived there, and in the soccer games he was referred to as Mambush, though I didn't know his real name.
Was he an RDO?
Mambush ke lo be RTO.
Andimazi ke apho ke.
That I do not know as to whether he was one.
You gave evidence in which you said, when you were asked, why did you go with this group? That was the Mambush group. You remember that question?
Uyakhumbula ngelixesha wawubuza umbuzo into ba kutheni wawuhamba nelaqela likaMambushi. Usakhumbula lo mbuzo?
Ndayikhumbula.
Yes, I still remember it.
Your answer was because they were singing and they were saying we mustn't run as we hadn't done anything. You remember that?
Utheke ngoku kwakuculwa pha baze bathi bona sanokubaleka ngoba anenzanga nto.
Nangoku.
I'm still saying it.
Pressed, you then said the person who said that was Mambush.
Can you clarify?
When asked who said that, you said that was Mambush.
Xa ubuzwa ke into yokuba ngubani owathetha loo nto leyo impendulo yakho wathi nguMambushi lo wathetha into enjalo.
Kunjalo.
It is so.
So you obeyed an instruction that Mambush gave. You didn't act of your own volition.
Ke ngoku wenza into eyathethwa nguMambushi wena zange uthethe into wenza into ephuma kuwe ozikhethela yona ubuza uyenza.
Ndenza into ethethwa ngabasebenzi njengoba bendibazi babe kudala bona bepha. Bona bayayazi lento yapha bakunjani anizubenza nto kanti kungalixesha nina amapolisa afuna kanti afuna yena kanye uqobo kucacile bangaba zeningahambanga nabo pha ngento zange ndilimale.
Yes, I did what the workers had said there. It is clear that the police, in fact, were after him. It's also clear that if I had never been part of their group, then I would never have been shot.
You say you did what the workers said.
Uthi wenza lento yayithethwa ngabasebenzi.
Ewe.
Yes.
What I'm saying to you is you did what in particular Mambush said.
Into enditsho kuwe mna into yokuba wenze into eyayithethwa nguMambushi.
Ewe ke.
Yes, then.
Well, let me tell you what else Mambush said.
Mandikuxelele ke ngoku enye into ethethwe nguMambushi.
He said these hippos, referring to Nyalas, would not leave this place and will die, and you will all die today.
Wathi ke uMambushi ezihippo azizohamba apha namhlanje kwaye nizawufa nonke namhlanje.
He was saying this to police negotiators who were not carrying any gun or posing any threat to them, who were inside Anyala.
Uthi ke ngoku lento wayithetha kumapolisa ayisenza ke ngoku uthethathethwano ethetha nabo kwaye ngelo xesha ayingaphethanga miphi amapolisa engagrogrisi nogrogrisa ngelo xesha.
Chair, can I just get a sense from since Mambush is my client in the sense indicated, whether this question is being put to the witness on the basis that there will be evidence that will be led to that effect.
Utike no bawo usina khasolo ntsebenza njemba emele apha umfi uMambush kulento ithethwa kuthiwa ithethwa nguMambush
I assume
ixelelwa
the answer to that is yes, we hear from Mr.
kuzokuthi
Ngwana,
kunjalo
but you will recall that is put in slide 192. What was said in the question, what is contained in the question, is set out in slide 192, but you've asked a question of your learned friend, and I'm sure he'll give you the answer.
Yes, Chair.
kuthiwa le nto ayibuzayo ke ikhona phaa ku slide 192 ibhaliwe khona.
The evidence will also be, Mr. Magidwana, are you listening?
Umamele mfokabawo.
Ndimamele bawo.
I am listening, sir.
That Mambush also told the police negotiators who were inside the Nyala, he was standing outside the Nyala. He told them, we must sign a paper so that the world can see how we will kill one another today.
Ndicela ubuza mhlekazi phakuwe before ndiphendule.
Before I answer, can I ask a question from you, sir?
Lento ithethwa nguMambushi wayithetha emapoliseni okanye wayithetha kubasebenzi.
That which Mambush said, did he say it to the employees or to police officers?
You know the answer to that, don't you?
Uyayazi impendulo yalo mbuzo ayinjalo lonto.
Ndiva ngawo lo mhlekazi lempendulo yiyo lento ndibuza abaze ithetha ebasebenzini okanye emapoliseni.
It's because say I'm hearing that from you. That's why I'm asking then if he was saying that to the workers or was he saying that to the police?
What difference would it make?
Matter for you to know that what you're being asked about is did Mambush or Mr. Noki say that? Why do you have to know whether it is suggested he said it to the workers or to the police? The question related to whether he said it. Now, anyway, let's see how Mr. Ngwana responds.
Uthi ke le yokuba wayetsho kumapolisa kanye kubasebenzi into engabaleka ngenamsebenzi into efuna uqondwa apha into yokuba uMambushi wayithetha into enjalo na.
Zange ndimva lo kumna.
I personally never heard him.
Yes, of course you didn't hear him because, well, let me ask you this. The evidence of the police will be that the negotiators asked for 5 leaders of the protesters to step forward so that they can talk to them or negotiate with them.
Into ezawuthethwa ngamapolisa into yokuba acela into yoba kuthathwe kufunwe ke iinkokheli ezintlanu zabasebenzi ezawukwazi uba zibamele zibathethele.
You cannot dispute that, can you?
Leyo yona awunakuyiphika. Ungayiphika?
Andinokuyiphika loo nto leyo ithetha mhlekazi.
I cannot dispute what you are saying, sir.
That Mambush was one of the 5 leaders who stepped forward.
Ukuthi naleyo kuba uMambushi ke ngomnye wesisihlanu esathi saya ngaphambili.
Ndandimbona uMambushi mhlekazi nebheka pha.
I saw Mambushi when he went there.
Kodwa ebizwa ngamapolisa ekhwaza ke futhi nxa embiza ngespeaker.
But he was called by police officer through a loud hailer.
You weren't one of the 5 leaders, were you?
Wena ubungangomnye wesisihlanu bungekho kwesisihlanu.
Hayi.
No.
You've testified earlier that you were on the copy on the 16th on the occasion of Mr. Matunjwa's address, on both occasions.
Uthi ke wawupha entabeni ngalamhla we-16 ngezihlandlo zosibini ngela xesha wayezile umhlekazi uMathunjwa ezothetha kunye nabasebenzi.
Mhlekazi.
Yes, sir.
Now, numerous protesters, including Mr. Noki, Mambush, addressed the workers. You recall that?
Usakhumbula ke abasebenzi abaninzi siquka kunye noNoki baye bathetha nabaqhankqalazi okanye nabasebenzi. Uyayikhumbula loo nto leyo?
Ndiyazikhumbula mhlekazi ezinye izinto ezithethwa ngabasebenzi pha.
I remember some of the things that were said by the workers there.
One of them, or at least one of them, said, it's a very short excerpt, so I shall read it. These police, if they claim, I'm reading a translation, I think it's CC 18, Chairperson, if I'm not mistaken. Ms. Pillay will correct me if I'm wrong. He's depicted as protester 6 addressing the crowd on slide 168 of Exhibit L. Can we show the witness slide 168?
Yes. Kulona ke ngokuthiwa ke waye wathetha ke amazwi alandelayo azawuthethwa ngoku nguCouncil uNgalwana.
Who is that person?
Lo mntu lona ke olapha kulo mfanekiso lo apha kubhalwe 168 khona. Ngubani?
Lo tata ndambona pha kodwa ndimlazi igama lakhe kodwa ndandimbonile yena.
I saw this man there, but I don't know his name.
Among other things, he said, these police, if they claim that they have safety, they must go and apply safety to that white man or boss who sent them here.
Wathi ke into ayithetha into yokuba ukuba lamapolisa banga into yokuba banokhuselo mabahambe bokhusela lamlungu kanye lamntu umhlophe ubathumele apha.
They must leave us here, meaning the police. They must leave us here and bring this white man or boss.
Mabashiye apha baze ke ngoku na lomlungu bethetha ke ngomqeshi.
We do not leave this place without what we want.
Asihambi kule ndawo singayifumananga lento siyifunayo.
We must leave immediately.
Mabahambe ngoku.
A police officer from the homelands, if he or she was fetched to come here, will be left here.
Ukuba ipolisa lendoda okanye lomfazi lithathwe laziswa apha bazawuphelela bazosala apha.
He or she will not enter that hippo.
Elo polisa okanye ipolisakazi alizongena pha kula hippo.
To which there appears to have been an uproarious laughter.
Emva kokuvakala ke ngoku abantu begigitheka.
He then finishes off by saying, we will finish them here, they must leave here.
Ugqibela ngelokuthi sizawubagqibela apha mabahambe apha.
Chair, if I may just indicate the transcript and translation of this address is in 009.
Kuyatshiwo ke ngoku noba ipha ku 009 into ethethwa ebhaliweyo ethethwa ngulo bawuvele pha kumfanekiso.
Thank you, Ms. Pillay.
Ms. Pillay?
You heard his words.
Kuthiwa ngamazwi awawathethayo ango lawo.
That you heard.
Wayiva loo nto leyo.
Ndayiva mhlekazi loo nto eyithetha kodwa ke nabasebenzi bebefanele ukuhleka ithi umuntu ethetha kakuhle aphinda athethe into engabhadlanga ekugqibeleni emdala.
Yes, I heard that, and the reason, and the fact that the people had laughed, and the fact that at first, when he started his speech, he was saying nice things, and that at the end, being old, he said something that made no sense. That was foolish, being old.
Being an elder, was he one of the 5 leaders?
Njengoba bengumuntu omdala, yena bengomnye wesisihlanu.
Ndandimbone esuka pha echophile wazothetha wathatha ilantuka wayiqhwebisa futhi kuthetha abantu wafuna uthetha.
Uthi wayithatha?
Wayithatha echophile waphakama kulanda bechophe kuyo wayiqhwebisa lento kusathetha abanye abantu wathetha lento yayithetha.
I saw him whilst he was seated, and he then stood up whilst the others were busy speaking. He took it from them and said whatever it is that he said. He snatched it from them.
That's a tangential answer. You said you saw Mambush approaching the police Nyala when he was called by the negotiators with 4 other men.
Othi wambona uMambush ke ngelixesha siya phambili ehamba namanye amadoda amane ngelixesha bebizwa ke ngalamapolisa ayethetha.
Ndayibona loo nto ndaweva lamapolisa nxa ethetha kuba wona zekhwaza.
I observed that, and I also saw that the police by then were calling out loud through the loud hailer.
All I'm asking you is whether this old man at slide 168 was one of the 5 men who went there to the police together with Mambush.
Into ayibuza into kuba lo mfo lo uvele apha.
Presumably one of the 4 men who went with Mambush, because presumably 5 went and Mambush was 1, then it would have been 4 people who went with Mambush. Is that right?
Thank you, Chair. My arithmetic has never been a strong point.
Uyalungiswa ke ngenani labantu elo liye lahamba kunye no Mambush. Kufuna uqonda ke into kuba lo mfo okanye lo uvela apha lo tata lo ngomnye babantu bahamba besiya kumapolisa ngelixesha uMambush kanye wayibizwa ngamapolisa na.
Andisaqapheli ke noba yena leyile napha kodwa ndiyayiqaphela ixesha athethayo athetha ngale ngespeaker.
I don't remember as to whether he went there, but what I can remember was when he was talking through the megaphone, the loud hailer.
If I say to you, Klekas, that you will not leave this place and you will die here today, that's a declaration of war, isn't it?
Ukuba ndithi kuwe anizohamba kule ndawo nokuthi nizofela apha, lonto uthi ngamanye amazwi makubekho imfazwe, injalo lonto.
Bundivile bebenditheni eqaleni Mhlekazi?
Did you hear what I said initially?
Please answer my question.
Ndicela uphendule umbuzo wam.
Andazi Mhlekazi.
I don't know, sir.
Are you refusing to answer my question?
Ngoku wala uphendula umbuzo wam.
Ndithi andazi Mhlekazi, andali andiwazi lo mbuzo ukuba ndingawuphendula kanjani.
I am not refusing, sir. I said I don't know. I don't know how I can answer your question.
Ukuba ndithi kuwe Mnumzana Magidiwana Mlungu, ukuba ndithi awuzuhamba uzawufela apha, lo ndithetha uba ndicela umlo, akunjalo?
Mhlekazi, le ngale ndlela uthetha ngayo phayana zange kuliwe namapolisa, amapolisa abulala abantu.
Sir, in the way in which you are talking, no fight was ever directed to the police. However, it was the police who killed the people.
Xa kuliwa umnyopha nomnyopha.
During, when there's a fight, each and every person bleeds.
May I ask the interpreter to interpret my question so that it becomes clear that the witness is doing everything in his power not to answer my question. The question was, ukuba ndithi kuwe, Mnumzana Magidwana, ndithetha ngesixhosa ndikwenzela undive.
Ndikuva Mhlekazi.
I'm saying it in Xhosa because I want you to hear me. If I say to you, Mr. Magidwana,
Awuzuhamba apha,
you are not going to live here.
uzawufela apha.
You are going to die here.
No, Chairperson, I'm sorry, I really don't want to interrupt, but if that is presumed to be quoting Protester 6, then it's misleading, because Protester 6 never said nothing about dying.
I'm not quoting.
I don't think it's intended to be a quotation from Protester 6, is it? Intended to be
It's just a
quotation.
hypothetical. Okay.
It's a quotation, I think, from what Mr. Norkie said, which is referred to in slide 192.
Kutwa ke kuthathwa ke into ekutweyo iyakanuki pha evele ku slide 192.
Manphinde.
Let me repeat.
Ukuba ndithi kuwe,
If I say to you,
awuhambi apha,
you are not living here,
uzakufela apha.
you are going to die here.
Masityikitye uxwebhu
Let us sign a paper
ukwenzela uba ihlabathi liphela
so that the whole world
libone ukuba sibulalana njani namhlanje.
can see how we kill one another today.
Ndicela umlo ngalo mazwi, akunjalo?
In other words, I am declaring a war, isn't it?
Ukuba ngaba umambuchi lawo nto bezayithetha kwelo polisa waye wayebuya wayizisa ebantwini ngesa siyazi lo nto bebeyithetha bona bobabini pha bagqiba nangoku ke batsho babulalana ke kwafa yena kwalo bantu wacheka ipolisa lacheka lona ipolisa andithi kuyo kwaba njalo.
If that which Noki said to the police officer he had came back to the workers and would have told the workers about it, then we would have known about it. That was between him and the police officers, which in fact happened because eventually he was killed and the police officer remained or he stayed alive, isn't it?
Are you saying the police and Mr. Noki killed each other?
Ufuna ukuthi ngamanye amazwi uNoki kunye nelipolisa babulalana.
Wabulawa.
He was killed.
He isn't saying that.
Kuloo
He
nto
says
yabo
that at the end
bebeyithetha
of it
wacheka
all,
yena
Mr.
wafaka kuloo
Norkie
nto
was
yabo
dead and
wabili.
the police were alive. So he's saying, you're not saying what you put to him. I think you must withdraw the question and reformulate it correctly.
Chairperson, I heard him in Xhosa saying babulalana, which means we kill one another. So I just wanted to be clear that that's what he meant.
Mr. Chairman, I really want to be objecting to questions that are put by my colleague. It's a very unfair way in which he's putting questions. For instance, we have here still of protester number 6, and I would have been fooled into thinking that the question that was put to him was premised on what is alleged to have been said by protester number 6, which is why my learned friend next to me, Mr. Mpofu, had said, you know, protester number 6 had never said what he was saying.
Mr. Bezos, the problem would be solved, I think, if we were now shown slide 192, and if the questions were asked against the backdrop of that slide.
Yes, Chair. But what I'm saying further than that is that if my learned friend is going to act both as interpreter as well as, I mean, what he hears, and he must indicate that that is not what has been interpreted, but not to proceed on the basis that the answer that he is getting is the wrong answer, because...
No, you're quite correct. He can't ask questions based on his interpretation.
Yes.
If it differs from the interpreter's.
Indeed.
He must indicate it his interpretation and that he disagrees with the interpreter.
Yes.
Now, I uphold what you say on that. Anyway,
Chairperson, sorry, so to save time, let's have one series of objections. What the chairperson says that this would be clarified by 192 is actually not the case. It's actually even further compounded, because when he then went to 192, he put in one sentence things that according to 192 happened 2 hours apart.
yes, I understand that. But the point made by Mr. Sibeza was if you have a picture of protester 6 and you then say, did somebody say something, then the impression might be created that you're suggesting that protester 6 did it. That impression is removed if the picture that's shown is a picture of Mr. Norkie. That's the only point. So anyway, I think we've debated this. I think hopefully we've now worked out a way forward which will not confuse the witness, not be unfair, and will produce meaningful answers.
Ingxaki yaka senior counsel uba Mtsebeza yinto yokuba imibuzo engathi ayibuzwa kakuhle ngoba kuvulwe umfanekiso womuntu pha ku-168 kodwa kubuzwa ngezinto ezenzeke ku-192 kodwa nale ngxaki yokutolika uphinde ube ligqwetha kwangaxeshanye ucela ibe ngathi yalungiswa kwenza into yoba xa ucinga into yoba itolika ayivanga mbuzo kakuhle kanye akafumana nempilo ayifunayo azokwazi ukuthi ayicacise loo nto leyo.
Chairperson, both objections have absolutely no foundation. We've wasted 5 minutes of very
The first objection which I've upheld was that if you put something on the basis of your interpretation of the witness, which differs from that that's been given to us by the official interpreter, you should indicate that. That's clearly a good objection, and I've upheld it already, and I won't have any further argument about it. The second point I made was not an objection, really. It was flowed, though, from the point that, what Mr. Sibeza said wasn't really an objection. But what he said was it was misleading to have a picture of protester 6 on the screen when what was being put was what somebody else had said. And I said that was a fair point, and that's why we now have a picture of Mr. Norkie. So let's not argue about these matters further. Let's just get on with the matter.
Can I just make this one point, Chair? It's not an argument. The difficulty is the chairperson, with respect, has somewhat of a small handicap in as much as he may not be as proficient in Xhosa as some of us are. And I asked my question in Xhosa. It was then interpreted into English. There was nothing wrong with the interpretation. And perhaps a facetious remark which I hesitate to make is that we have, if you like, a epigrammatical expression in Xhosa that says, is Xhosa stolik. It means you can't really interpret Xhosa. Anyway, Chair, let me phrase the question in English.
One point. If you disagree with something the interpreter said, and are basing your question on a slightly different interpretation, that should be made clear, so that those like myself, who I regret to say have no proficiency in Easy Xhosa at all, will be able to understand what's happening. Right? If we understand that, let's proceed on that basis. We won't waste any more time.
Yes, we understand, Chair. The trouble is I don't disagree with the interpretation. It's Mr. Nsebeza who does. But let me move on.
Sizawuqhubekeka nangona icacisile nayo uCouncillor uNgalwane into yokuba ayithethi loo nto uba uchasa okanye akavumelani nendlela into etolikwa ngayo kodwa ke sawuqhubeka siye komnye umba ulandelayo.
I want to give you an opportunity, Mr. Makidiwana, to set the record straight. Are you saying, and I want your honest answer, are you saying that Mambush and the police killed one another?
Uthi ke ndifuna ke ukhuphe ke usinike impendulo yakho ke ngoku eyiyo ne uthi ngamanye amazwi uMambush namapolisa babulalana.
Andithi babulalana.
I'm not saying they killed each other. I'm saying
kulonto zebeyithetha besithi sizobulalana.
In whatever it is they said that they were going to kill each other.
Thina sobabini nxa ndithi ungathi ndikuva kakuhle. Uthetha ukuthi ke yena wathi wafa ke kuloo nto yabo bebeyithetha bobabini kuba wafa nyani ke.
That which you said that the two of them were saying, it means that really what he said indeed happened, because eventually he, Mambush, died.
Ayidibenanga nabasebenzi lena ndithetha ngabo bobabini not abasebenzi.
This has nothing to do with the workers. That was the discussion between the two of them.
Ingabuyanga yaya abasebenzini futhi.
And was never at a later stage conveyed to the workers or said to the workers.
Yes, for now I'm only talking about Mambush and his relationship with the police.
Ngoku ke ndithetha ngobudlelwane baka Mambush kwakunye namapolisa.
I have taken you to slide 192 of Exhibit L.
Ndienda ku site ndakubonisa apha ngokwe esi slide esibizwa 192 apha kweliqwebu.
Hlekazi ubudlelwane bamapolisa nabasebenzi bebethi amapolisa nxa ithethe into efuna ubhekisa abasebenzini ayikhwaze sive sonke lena into zange ndive sebeyithetha bona bodwa bobabini.
The relationships between the police and the workers was whatever it is that the police want to say, they would say it through a loud hailer. But this particular one, I never heard it because it was just between the two of them.
On the occasion when the men, a number of men were naked in the open, you were present, were you not?
Ngela xesha ke amadoda athile ke amaninzi aye hambaze apho ke ngokesihlangalaleni ngelo xesha wawukhona wena.
Ke 16 kwanjani?
And 16th, were people naked on the 16th?
I'm not talking about dates, I'm talking about an event.
Andithethi ke ngentsuku ngedate, ndithetha ngesehlakalo esenzekayo.
Hayi.
No.
Now, you haven't quite answered my question, and I'm afraid I must get an answer to this question.
Ingathi ke bawa kwawuphendula umbuzo wami ke ingathi ke nisafuna impendulo yalo mbuzo.
Bendithe hayi mhlekazi.
No.
I said no, sir.
It's a different question.
Kumbuzo wahlukile ongomnye lowo.
Ngomphi omnye ngawunixelele lo bukhona
Which is
ubuzo.
that different question? Please tell me.
Xa ndisithi kuwe awuzukuhamba apha uza kufela apha.
If I say to you, you are not going to live here, that you are going to die here.
Ngomphi ke lo besitsho mhlekazi?
Who then said that, sir?
I am saying that now to you.
Londo ke ndiyithetha kuwe ngoku.
Ukuba ndithi kuwe
If I say to you,
awuzukuhamba apha uza kufela apha,
you are not going to live here, but that you are going to die here.
Ndizofela apha nxa ndenzeni?
I will die here for having done what?
The problem is that the council hasn't finished his question yet. I suggest you listen to the question to the end and then answer. If I say this to you, that he's going to ask you something that follows from that. You haven't given him a chance to do that yet. So let him complete his question and then answer it.
Kuthiwa ke bawo khawukumyeka agqibe kuqala uthetha into ayithethayo xa azathi xa igqibile ke ngoku azobuza lo mbuzo funeka afuna ukubuza wona. Okay.
Sorry, Chairperson, if maybe through the chair we can inquire. I see the witnesses stretching the injured elbow, whether he's okay, or I don't even know how far we are. Oh, we are about 20 minutes to go. But
I see you flexing your left elbow. Are you in discomfort or experiencing pain at the moment?
Uyakubona ke ingathi umane ubamba apha kwingqiniba yakho apha ngasekhohlo awuzivi kakuhle nje okanye kuyaqaqamba.
Hayi inkansi. Bana ndifunyana inkansi ndenza qho lento le.
It's just a cramp that usually happens to me once in a while. It usually happens to me. In fact.
How long does it last?
Since the time I got injured.
You say it happens to you from time to time. You have this cramp. How long do you have the cramp for? Presumably the cramp goes away after some time.
Ke ngoku xa ithi ke ngoku benayo lenkansi iye yenzeke lonto ixesha elingakanani mhlawumbe.
Andiyazi ke ngoba ibane kuswabuluka imithambo na ngoba ibane isenzeka iphinde futhi iyeke kube ngcono kube right nesandla sisebenza. Ngangaba ikhona isandla sisebenzi sihlala simeso.
I don't know whether it is the veins or muscles that are stretching out, because usually whenever it happens, my arm doesn't function. It just becomes numb.
You actually haven't answered the question. But
My hand.
For how long do you experience this numbness and this discomfort?
Lento ke lenkansi ke uthuive na lento ithi yenzeka personally sakho iye yenzeka ixesha elingakanani into abafuna ukuqonda ke leyo.
Ayaziphelela nje uthanda kwayo nosho ba yenzeka ixesha.
I'm not in a position to tell as to the exact time as to when it stops, but whenever it can stop at any time.
Perhaps we should ask him whether it causes him any discomfort that requires a short adjournment, Chairperson.
We'll ask him that question.
Mhlekazi, ingqiniba le ingaba does it cause you any discomfort?
Le ngqiniba ke ikwenze uzive ungakhululekanga.
Well, if that's the cause, I could have asked if you can cause it myself.
Andikhululeki kaloku ngqiniba kuba ibane inkansi ke ngokuchaphazela nalapha entanyeni.
Yes. You really will never, I don't get comfortable then with this elbow because it also affects my neck. Indeed, I don't become comfortable if it affects my neck.
I don't want the witness to have to answer questions under a disadvantage. And it's already nearly, well, between 22 and 1:15. We're going to adjourn at 1. If you extract answers from him on which you want to found an argument later, you may find the argument raised on the other side that the witness wasn't himself because of the discomfort he was experiencing. So it might be sensible for us to take the adjournment now. It's unfortunate we lose a bit of time, but otherwise we might obtain answers that in fact can't really be relied on later. So we'll take the adjournment now.
Chair, before we do,
yes.
I was rather hoping to finish at least this line of
no, but the point is you finish the line, you get answers that you want to use later in argument, and you'll then be met with the argument. You can't rely on the answers because the witness wasn't himself, he was distracted by the pain. So it's an attempt to save time which actually may waste time. So I overrule your objection and we will adjourn until 10 o'clock on Monday morning.
Kuthiwa sabuyela ngomvulo ke ngentsimbi yeshumi asinawunyanzela xa simbona kakhuleka ngoba akanawuphendula kakuhle xa engekaziva kakuhle siyawubuyela ke ngomvulo ngentsimbi yeshumi.